Happy Friday, or whatever day your replay day is. This is Jamie Grace, and welcome to Fighter Fridays here at imafighter.org, your weekly source of encouragement featuring the stories of everyday people who we call fighters. Today, I am going to talk all about school, and I'm going to talk all about, well, school and work and friendships, but mostly school, and how you can start sharing your story with others when it's necessary. I think the most kind of specific way that this video is going to be helpful is for kids with medical issues or young adults as they are entering into school, college or grade school. And then some adults may find this helpful as well as they enter into the workplace. I have Tourette Syndrome. I've had it for a million years. Feels like it sometimes. But no, I have Tourette Syndrome, and I was mostly homeschooled, but I did a lot of homeschool co-ops and some sporting stuff I always had to quit. Because remember when I said I had Tourette Syndrome? Had a pretty severe case as a kid, so sports were not possible for me, unfortunately. But I did a lot of different events or projects and teams, whatever I'm trying to say, where I had to tell them that I had Tourette Syndrome, where it was definitely important that people knew what was going on. And then when I went to college, beginning of the semester, every semester, I walked up to my teachers at the beginning of class. Hi, I'm Jamie Grace. Can I talk to you? I have Tourette Syndrome, yada, yada, yada. So I want to walk you guys through this because not trying to like brag or anything, but I have a lot of experience in telling people that I'm just going to be interested, and hopefully I can help you guys out as well. Hey, the first question that you're going to need to ask yourself, I'm all about like developing questions to ask yourself and then answering them out loud because I just think it really, really, really helps. The first question, well, all the questions are what, when, who, and how. Let's dig in, okay? The first question is what? What do you need from the teacher or the boss? Like, what is going to help you? And I'm going to answer these along the way so that it'll help. For me, with my Tourette Syndrome, I needed my teachers to understand that if I got really fidgety, that I would have to excuse myself to the bathroom to do what is called ticking away, that I would need to just kind of go and let all my tics out so that I could come back to class and not be a disruption. I also needed them to understand that I needed specific help with testing and different things like that. I also have ADHD and anxiety, so and OCD. This is a whole shebang. But I definitely had to recognize that I did need those things. I needed that assistance. So the first thing is to ask yourself, what do you need from the teacher? Or what do you need from your boss? What do you expect from your schooling journey? If you need special help, if you're going to need a laptop in class, that was another one for me, which is normal now, but when I went to private school or like a private co-op in middle school, it wasn't normal. If you'll need to stand up in class, if you have asthma and you need to tell them in recess, ask yourself like what do you need, and establish that before you go tell them. Then the second question you need to ask yourself is when do they need to know? So it's going to be at the beginning of the school year, middle of the school year. When do they need to find out? Now, if you have a condition where you have like a surgery later in the year, they might not need to know anything until the second semester. You know, okay, by the way, it's January now. I thought you needed to know I have surgery in April. That might not be something you have to tell them the first day of class in August if you're not going to need any accommodations until April. So that's really important too, is to know when they need to know as it would best benefit based on the assistance that you're going to need. The third question is who's going to tell them? Like who's going to let them know what's going on? I pretty much think that if you're over 18, it should be you, and if you need someone to assist you, that's totally okay. And then kind of an obvious second half of that would be if you're under 18, I think that a parent should 100% go with you. But I think it also depends on that. I mean, I said 100%, but it does depend a little bit, if you're 18 years old or 17 years old and you have ADHD, and you're a senior in high school, your mom probably doesn't have to go with you to let the teacher know. But just depending on the severity of your condition, it may be helpful if a parent or even a friend goes with you. And some people, might require a doctor's note or something like that, but it just kind of depends. For our family, my mom was pretty involved in that process early on. She would tell my teachers, in homeschool co-ops and things like that. When I got to be around 14 years old is actually when I started I'm a Fighter. So that's when I was definitely pretty vocal about it myself. And I was like, Mom, I got this. So that's definitely when I kind of started stepping out on my own and telling people. But at a younger age, I wasn't diagnosed until 11, but at a younger age, my mom was definitely pretty involved. And the final question that you should ask yourself is how? How are you going to tell them? A couple of options. You can write a letter. It can be a really simple letter that just kind of explains your situation. And I would say that that's more for minor medical conditions or minor things, accommodations that you may need. The second one, it can be in person. I suggest either before or after the first class, depending, again, on the severity. But I would always go right before class and be like, yo, I need to talk to you about something. I'm going to swing my arm around, but I ain't trying to get your attention. It's always really important to me. And then the third way, which this can kind of coincide with the other two, is to tell the whole class. See if your teacher's okay with that. I remember when I watched the documentary, I Have Tourette's, but Tourette's Doesn't Have Me. Powerful film done by the Tourette Syndrome Association, and I hope everyone will check it out. There was a little boy. He always inspired me so much, and I've always wanted to meet this kid. I think he's probably my age. I don't think he's a kid anymore. But he stood up in front of his class and he told everyone that he had Tourette syndrome, and he explained what it was. And I remember watching that video as a little girl and thinking, wow, I want to do that. I want to get up in front of people and tell them that I might be different, but I'm still cool. And that everyone's different, everyone's cool, and then we can all be ourselves, and just a good old inspirational message. I remember that inspiring me so much. So that's something that can be very helpful too, is to tell the class. And obviously check with your teacher. Maybe don't just in the middle of class get up and be like, yo, I need to talk to y'all about eczema. Like, maybe that's not the best suggestion. Maybe, talk to them first and see if that's something that they're okay with. But that can definitely be something really helpful. I know that this can be really scary, stepping into a new school or stepping into college or a new workplace with a medical condition, especially if it makes you look different or alters your appearance or is obvious to people physically, or if it causes any type of emotional anxiety or social anxiety, any kind of anxiety, honestly. I know this can be very difficult, and I've been there, and I'm probably still going to face situations like this in the future. I still have to, give the rundown of Tourette syndrome when I make new friends. I've maybe been on a date or two once in my life, and that's something that has come up for sure in conversation. And I've definitely had an experience, or maybe even two, where a guy was like, bye, once he understood it. And but it's hard. I've definitely had situations where friends, just good old friend-zoned friends, were not interested in being my friend anymore when they found out I have Tourette syndrome. And it's hard, and it's frustrating, and it's annoying. But know that this kind of is like a superpower, because whatever your condition is, it gives you the ability to really see people's true colors. And it gives you the ability to see who's really there for you, who's maybe there for another reason. And the people that are there through the medical stuff, the people that are there with you at the hospital, the people that send you a text and say, I support you, you're awesome, the people that aren't, grossed out by, whatever, like your medical situation or whatever, like those are the true friends. And yes, I know that there might be some true friends out there that can't handle stories about blood. I'm not saying that your friend that gets a little queasy is a bad friend. I'm not saying that. But oftentimes when we face adversity, it's a way for us to be able to see who's going to stick around. And that's a really, really cool superpower to have. So, there are many benefits to when you're able to answer the questions what, when, who, and how, and then go out and tell your teacher or tell your new boss what's going on. You can raise awareness, you can find out who your true friends are, and third, and most importantly, you finally have the ability to go out and be you. It's a very freeing, very exciting, and amazing experience. My favorite class in college was psychology. I went to Point University, had an incredible professor, and my very first day of class, she said something very general, like a question or a statement that we should all agree with. And I was sitting there doing this, and for you podcast listeners, I'm shaking my head left to right as if I'm saying no. And she was saying a very Simple statement that everyone agreed with, and I was doing this. And everyone was nodding yes, and I was doing this. And my teacher said to me, "Oh, Miss Jamie Grace, do you disagree with that?" And I said to her, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I have Tourette syndrome. I am not trying to disagree with you. I just can't stop my head from doing this for about 3 seconds. Okay, I'm good. And she was so embarrassed, and I felt really bad that she was embarrassed, but I have made sure I told that professor to this day that that was one of my favorite university experiences to date, because it gave me the opportunity to share awareness of Tourette syndrome with my entire class. It gave me the opportunity to see which of my friends were true friends, which of my classmates thought I was a loser, and which of my classmates were like, whoa, I'd love to learn more. And it also gave me the ability to be my true self, which has been awesome. And it's been something that I've been living by ever since. So thank you guys so much for watching this video today. And I really hope that it has been encouraging for you. You might be listening via podcast. What? You might be listening via podcast or watching via video, but either way, I'm so grateful that you joined me. Be sure to subscribe so you do not miss a moment. And if you'd like to share your story, make a donation, or read a host of our daily submitted stories by users like you, visit imafighter.org. Thanks for joining. This is Jamie Grace, and I will see you or talk to you or both very soon. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. I meant to say in a week. Have a great weekend. What? Keep fighting.